Hey guys, it's Campbell. Welcome back to my YouTube channel if you're new around here. Hi, I'm Campbell. I'm currently a ballet major at the University of Cincinnati College Conservatory of Music, and I'm so glad that you could join us here. So today I have a bit more of a chill video planned out, and I'm going to teach you how I sew and prep my pointe shoes. Yay! Yeah, I'm kind of running out of ideas that I can do here in the dorm. And trust me, a bunch more videos are gonna come out once I actually have like space, you know what I mean? And to film this like when I go home for Christmas. But for now, I'm gonna teach you guys like some of the basics, I guess, because I know that some of you guys on here either don't dance ballet or like haven't danced ballet since you were really little, and so I thought it would be kind of fun to show you guys how like dancers sew and prep their pointe shoes, as well as kind of be a little tutorial if you're just starting out and you're trying to learn how to do it. And so just as a disclaimer, like starting out, this is how I do it. Everyone does it slightly differently depending on like your foot shape, how you were trained, what your teacher wants you to do. So if you've been told by your teacher to do it a specific way, please do it that way. Don't take my advice over theirs. But what I do is just an accumulation of what I've been taught over the years from many teachers and kind of learned myself like going along, and what works for my feet and what doesn't. So yeah, take this with a grain of salt, but this is kind of to help you get started if like you have no clue what you're doing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get right into it. So step number one is getting the materials that you need, which are elastic and ribbon. I use satin ribbon. That's what I use. I know a lot of people nowadays prefer stretchy ribbon. Do whatever makes your heart happy unless your teacher tells you otherwise, because I wasn't allowed to have stretchy ribbon at my home studio, and I prefer stretchy ribbon. I prefer satin ribbon, not stretchy. I don't know why. It's a feeling. I like it better. But yeah, so I use satin. So this is how to sew like regular satin ribbons. If you want to know how to sew elastic or do the one that like wraps around your foot all fancy, this is not the video for you. Go find that somewhere else, because I don't know how to do that. But this is what I do. And so usually what you can do is buy at the store, like it's kind of coming unraveled, but a little roll of ribbon that you can cut like fresh pieces of ribbon from. Same with elastic. Generally at stores you have to buy the ribbon, but they give you the elastic with the pointe shoes. But it's way cheaper if you order on Amazon, so do that if you need to order material, but that can get really expensive. So what I do is, this is a dead pair of shoes, or a shoe that is retired that I don't use anymore. So I'm gonna take the ribbon and elastic off this. One, it saves me time, and two, it saves me money. So the reason it saves you time is because you don't have to measure out the ribbon and then cut however much you need, or measure out the elastic. It's already done for you. And so if you're trying to do it in a pinch, just take it off with a pair of pointe shoes, and it saves money, because in all honesty, unless the ribbon is falling apart, you really don't need any ribbon. And so like, yeah, if I know that I'm gonna be wearing these shoes for like a show or something, I'm gonna put on nice ribbon. But this next pair that I'm sewing, I don't think I'm gonna end up using for the performance that we have in like 3 weeks. So I'm just gonna take some off of this. It makes my life easier, and the ribbon's actually in pretty good shape looking at these. So yeah, how are we gonna get it, you ask? You have this. It's called a seam ripper. So it's really simple. What you're gonna do is, you have to flip your shoe like inside out so that you can see it. But yeah, so see how I have it stitched? I'll teach y'all how to sew it like coming up. Don't focus on the shoe. Okay. I'll teach y'all how to do that. But what you're gonna do is like go under one of the stitches. So let's see. See how I'm under one of the stitches? Can you focus, please? Anyways, so I'm under one of the stitches, so you're just gonna pull, and then that breaks the thread. There we go. It breaks the thread. So you're just gonna keep doing that until like you can get it to fully come undone. Okay. So yeah, and then once you like, I should probably keep this in frame. Once you have like a few of them like undone, then you can start like, wow, I sewed this on really good. I can barely get under here. Okay. Yeah, so you're just gonna start breaking the thread. And be careful, don't stab yourself with the seam. Yeah, so you can start pulling it off now. And then you can just pull it off like so. And there you go. There's your ribbon. And it came off pretty easy. So now I'm gonna do that to the other side, and then you're gonna do that the same thing with your elastic. My elastic kind of tends to come off, so it doesn't take nearly as long, but yeah, you just thread your seam ripper underneath one of the threads and pull it off. So yeah, I'm gonna do that on both shoes, and I'll come back to y'all. Now that that's out of the way, the fun can begin. Here are my beautiful, beautiful pointe shoes. I wear Nicolay Stream Points. They're new, I think. They're relatively new on the market. I like them. They're nice. They don't have a drawstring, in case you didn't notice, but yeah. So, like I said before, everyone does it a little bit differently, but here are the general basics. Take your little stitch kit, your sewing kit. You can get them at Joann's, you can get them at a dance store, you can get them pretty much anywhere. Be careful though what kind of thread you're getting though, because sometimes the thread can easily like break. I know that I've gotten like thread from Ruby Aware and that snaps really easily, at least for me in my experience. I don't know what brand this is. Bunheads. I like Bunheads like thread. It generally tends to be a little thicker. If you want something that's a bit more stable, like 100% more stable, use floss. A lot of people use floss and it works well. I find it works well, but I'm good with my thread. But just for extra like security, so that it doesn't like come undone, I like do a double thread, if that makes sense. So you thread your needle, you pull it through, and then you tie a little knot at the end. You tie them together. So have the two ends of the thread and then tie them in a knot. There we go. Nice little knot. So then pull it to the middle. You should be good to go. I pulled out a pretty long bit because I hate rethreading my needle, so that'll keep me going for a while. But anyways, we're gonna start with the ribbon. I always start with the ribbon for whatever reason. So like I did before on the dead pair pointe shoes, you're gonna flip the side of the pointe shoe out, and then if this is your first time like ever sewing your pointe shoes, I would suggest trying them on first without sewing them, and then look at where like the peak of your arch lands in the shoe. For me, when it's like right side out and I'm wearing it, my arch tends to hit about here. And so like what I've learned is you want to sew your ribbon where your arch hits, so that it's like pulling up, I don't know, on your arch, and it like helps the shoe shape to your foot better and just have it stay on better. So mine hits around here-ish. That's what I've learned. So that's where I'm gonna sew my ribbon. But try that out for yourself. For different people, they want different things. Like some people put it a little higher up, some people put it a little farther down. But in general, if you don't really know what you're looking for, generally like the middle of the shank is a pretty good place to go. For shoe anatomy, if you're new to this, the shank is this part, and that's the shank. This is the box. That's the box. This is the vamp. These are the wings on the side. But yeah, that's pretty much general shoe vocabulary. So if you hear me use it, that's what it is. Okay, so if this was a new ribbon, I would fold it in a little bit, like just a little bit, like to have like that much folded in, because it adds a little bit more like security. Because people who like don't do anything and just have like the end of the ribbon, it's very like thin, and so it's more likely to break, if that makes sense, or pop. I've seen many ribbons pop. So I like to fold it up a little bit, and I'm lucky to say my ribbons have not popped. My elastic has popped before, but my ribbons have not. This one's like been used, so I know where to fold it in, but measure out your ribbon first. If this is your first time ever sewing pointes and you don't have like a guiding kind of previously done ribbon to use, measure it out, like how long of a ribbon you need to like wrap it around your ankle and tie it up without it being like extremely short. So measure that out for yourself if you're unsure, but I've sewn many a pair, so I know how long my ribbons need to be. But yeah, so you are gonna take the folded side and make sure that the shiny side, there's a shiny and a matte side, make sure the shiny side is facing outwards, unless your teacher tells you otherwise, because I had a teacher tell me not to do that before because she didn't like shiny ribbon. But anyways, so you're gonna place it where you want. So here's mine. Place the box where you want it to be, and then we're gonna start sewing. So this is not very complex. You don't need to know how to sew to do this, but all you're gonna do is you're gonna take your needle and you're gonna thread it into the fabric on the inside of the shoe and just get that fabric. You don't want to poke it all the way through into the satin, or else you will be able to see the stitches from the outside, and you don't want that. So you're gonna just get the fabric on the inside, and then you're gonna sew it in to the ribbon that's there. Poke it through, so you can see what I'm doing, and pull it out. And you're gonna do that around the whole box. So poke it in, just getting the inside material, and pull it through. Oh. And if you have really long thread like me, I think it's worth it, but it does tend to get tangled up a little bit in the process. So make sure you have it all the way pulled through. And so you're gonna do that all the way around the box. Be careful not to stab yourself. I've stabbed myself a few times, but generally I'm pretty good about not doing that. If you're not good about that, wear a thimble, because it does really hurt. But yeah, so sew all the way around the box, and I'll come back to you. Actually, no, I'm gonna do a cool little speed up moment of me sewing my shoe. Okay. So now I've sewn it all the way around the little interior box, and so not everyone does this. Some people stop right there and sew it off, knot it off. But I had a teacher teach me to do this. It helps the ribbon like actually do more, if that makes sense. Like it helps the fabric on the side of the shoe hug my arch a little bit more. That's what it does. What you're gonna do is you're gonna do exactly what I told you not to do earlier. And so you're gonna stab your needle all the way through your shoe so that it comes out the other side. And then, this is where things get complicated. You're gonna like rotate the needle like from here, like you're gonna push it down so that it goes through the ribbon. And then pull that through. That was really confusing. Let's watch it again. So stab it all the way through. You stabbed it all the way through your shoe. And here, watch from this side. You're gonna angle up your needle so that it'll poke through the ribbon, and then pull it through. And then you're just gonna do that for however many times you can, your heart desires. And try to keep them even where you're stabbing the ribbon through, and then once you're done, do another like little sew, like stitch like we did at the beginning, where you take a little bit of the fabric, sew it through, sew it through the ribbon and pull it so that it's attached. And if it doesn't look the prettiest, it's fine. No one's gonna see it. I promise you, no one is gonna see it. Okay, so, sorry. I almost kept going. So you're gonna make another stitch like we did before, and so you're gonna be pulling it through like you did, but instead of pulling it all the way through, leave like a little loop and loop the needle 1, 2, I like to do 3 just to be sure, but 2 would be fine. 3. So you looped it through and then pull it and it makes a knot. So make sure the knot is tight and then cut off. So that's what it ended up looking like. This one got a little janky because I was kind of watching it through the camera, but that's what the stitches should look like on the inside and then through the top, so you can see how it came out the other side. So that's what they look like. You can't see it from stage, I promise. And yeah, some people like to burn down the little edge that sticks out right here. I don't, because it's kind of a fire hazard and honestly does more harm than good for me. But yeah, so that's what that looks like. I'm gonna speed through the next part. Go back and rewatch it if you need it again. But yeah, so I'm gonna start that on the next side. The one thing that I will say about the next side that you're gonna do is put it roughly in the same place that you were, but make sure that they're like level. Okay, they have been sewn, the ribbons. I was kind of rushing, so they're a little janky, but they don't have to be perfect. Like, especially like if this is like your first time doing it and you're like looking at it and you're like, wow, this does not look good. If it does the job, it does the job. It doesn't matter how it looks. Like mine, they serve their purpose. And honestly, your ribbons are like the least important part. The elastic that's coming up, you really want to pay attention to the elastic. The ribbons don't do much. You can easily dance in pointe shoes without ribbons. You can't without elastics. So don't stress too much about your ribbons. Just make sure that they're a good length, not too short. If they're too short, you can't tie them and then they'll come undone really easily. And you never want that. Now we're moving on to elastic. My least favorite part. Takes the most effort and like it takes so long. But anyway, like I mentioned before with the ribbon, if you are sewing for the first time or like you haven't sewn in a while and like your feet have grown, blah blah blah, try on your shoe and like standing flat on the ground, measure how long it is, like how much elastic you need from here across your foot, and make sure that it's tight. You don't want it loose. You would rather it too tight than too loose. Again, I know how much I need. This is how long I need. My credentials, I've been on pointe since I was 11, so 7 years now. But yeah, so I know how long I need mine, but it's different for every single person, so I can't tell you like, oh, 6 inches, 7 inches, like however long you need. And so then you're also going to want to make sure that when you're measuring this ribbon, you're going a little bit inside the shoe as well. Some people I've seen sew it like right here with that much like elastic inside the shoe. That elastic tends to pop pretty easily. So I give about like, you can see where all this loose thread is, but like from there to there, that's about usually how much I give. It helps it not pop, and it just gives you a little bit more stability within the ribbon. So we're gonna do exactly, elastic. So we're gonna do exactly what we did last time, and you don't need as long as a of a thread for this because you aren't sewing as much. You're gonna thread your needle. And so I'm using some extra thread that I had from sewing the ribbon. And so it doesn't need to be very long, but just knot it like we did last time. And then, I kid you not, we're gonna do the exact same thing. So I tend to, general rule of thumb, is want to measure out like your finger's length from like the back seam of the shoe. And however big that is, that's where you're gonna place it. So for me, it would be about there. You're gonna slightly angle it so that it fits over your ankle better and it's not just like straight up and down. It's a little bit more angled because it's going towards the back. And then you're gonna take your needle, you're gonna thread it through so that you get the fabric, just the fabric, and poke it all the way through and then pull it through. And then you're gonna go around the entirety of the little elastic square you have, and I will be back with you guys when that's finished. You are finished with the sewing portion of your point shoe preparation. Yeah, don't stress out if they're not perfect. If they're really not good, you can always redo it. Seam ripper is your friend. But yeah, most of the time, try your best. They should be pretty good. So yeah, if these are brand new ribbons that you're using, you're gonna do something called singeing, which if you can like see on this ribbon how it like has kind of like a plasticky like top on it, that's from singeing. So ribbons tend to fray, in case you didn't know. And so what keeps it from fraying is you're gonna take a lighter and obviously light the lighter and then like brush the flame, not catching it on fire, but just gently so that you'll see it. It'll kind of melt down to create like that top. So it'll stop it from fraying. And please, I'm begging you to do it. I've forgotten to singe my point shoes a few times. It's the worst. It's literally the worst. Like your entire ribbon comes apart. So please singe your ribbons if you haven't. These are already singed, so I don't have to worry about it. Next up in this great point shoe preparation is prepping them for class tomorrow. So I used to wear Block Heritage, and so Block Heritage are a lot softer than these bad boys, the Nicolay Extreme Points. They're pretty hard. Just in general, it's a pretty hard shoe. And so I didn't really have to do anything to break in my blocks, but these I do. So I like to put them on a little bit before the class that I'm gonna break them in starts. So tomorrow, I don't know if I have point class or not. So I'm really gonna have to break these in a little bit more before I wear them. But yeah, so I'm gonna show you how I do it. And again, this is different for everybody. And it really just depends on like what you want out of your shoe and what your feet are capable of doing, because some people have really strong feet and they can just put on their point shoes without doing anything. I don't, so I have to do some modifications. So first off, you want to make sure that you can access your demi point. So you're gonna try your best to bend them right at the demi point, and also bend it like that. My shoes aren't super crunchy, so you're not gonna get that ASMR, but you're just gonna try to bend them back and forth as much as you can. It's gonna be easier once you actually put them on because they'll be softer, and I'll show you that in a second. And then you're gonna want to do the very top, bend it back a little bit. Mine don't really need that much. Blocks did, those crunched a little bit, but yeah. So then you're gonna flatten out like the top of this, and some people step on it. I just like to press on it gently. So you're gonna press on the sides just so it opens up the box a little bit more in the wings. But let me put them on and then I'll show you kind of what I do. So there you go. That is how I prep my point shoes. I hope you guys found this interesting. I hope you found it like informative. So I really hope this helped you guys out. Good luck sewing your point shoes if you are sewing them right now. And if you're watching this video because you're sewing your point shoes for the first time, congratulations! I'm so proud of you for getting to this level. It's a big, big accomplishment, so you should be very, very proud of yourself. But yeah, I love you guys so much. Make sure to like and subscribe because there's gonna be a lot more fun content coming up because like I mentioned earlier, in this video, I have a show in about 3 weeks. So that means you're getting a tech week vlog, show week vlog, finals are coming up, so you're getting a finals vlog. I'm gonna show you how to do your stage makeup. Like there is so much coming up. A lot more dance content. Hopefully you'll get more clips of me dancing, if I can, without copyright or anything like that. But yeah, so subscribe so you don't miss any of that because that's going to be very exciting. Thank you guys for sticking around, for supporting me, for watching my journey. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. I love you so, so much. Have an amazing day. Mwah.